All right, guys. So this panel is basically called "What's Up with Pro Validators?" So we're people that have backgrounds in the validations and DevOps, NodeOps industry. So if you guys don't mind, we'll just go one by one and say kind of what is our credentials or background with staking. So I'm Drew. I'll go first. I have a new company called Axel.io, which is sustainable staking out of Paraguay. Previously, I used to be the protocol specialist at LidoDAO, and then before that, I did NodeOps at Blockdaemon. Vlad?
Hello, my name is Vladimir, or you can call me Vladi. I'm a founder of Posthuman Validator. We validate a little bit more than 40 different chains, and we are really community-based validator, mostly in Cosmos ecosystem. So we have kind of 200,000 individual delegator addresses. So it's kind of top 5 by this stats, yeah, by this marker. Of course, we are the stakers by ourselves, and we was starting with developing proof of stake after it moved into the delegated proof of stake, because it exists some difference when the stakers, delegators became not only the people who just want to get some profit rewards from the network, but also participate in the decentralized governance and help to develop networks or directly change the vision of the network.
Hey everyone, so my name is David. So I hope everyone is enjoying Barcelona so far. I'm a tech guy coming from staking, which is a professional staking services. We have presence in over 45 networks. I'm growing, and previously was a DevOps engineer at Chilaro Network, and yeah, hopefully get to know everyone here. Let's enjoy.
Awesome. So roughly, that's who we are. And so we'll kind of get to the subject matter of what is infrastructure. And basically, what we're going to ask as the next question is, as a non-validator, it's great to discover kind of what's really tough about being a validator, what's awesome about being a validator, and what it takes to get started. Would you like to kick it off, David?
Which topic? Monitoring? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, as you all know, validators here we have a pro squad of validators, and as such we have to run some kind of quality of our services, which means like we have to have some uptimes and just basically to maximize rewards for every delegator of ours. And as such, we at Staking we have been striving to get certified in terms of information security certifications, ISO 27001, for instance, which is one best industry standard. And we've been as such rewarded by staking rewards, by AAA scoring. And this is something that we have been achieving over the past years, working hard on securing our infras, distributing the setups in terms of having redundant setups. So if one server or two goes down, then we can quickly switch to the others to prevent missing blocks on our validators, on Ethereum, on Cosmos chains. And so far, we have been doing this great. We have with zero slashing events.
So I think that the most interesting and the most exciting, it's being a part of this evolution and of these changes. Because if the blockchain was started with the miners, and it was just the people who run the infrastructure, and they kind of the slaves of the machine, because they just, what they do, they look that the machine works good, update the software. After some proof of stake networks that really nothing changes because no difference between the common proof of stake and the proof of work, just your machine don't use the GPU and use some tokens. But next step of delegated proof of stake, when the not only the validators but also delegators start to govern the network and participate in this decentralized governance, this is very interesting step because people can participate more and more on the different levels. And now validator, it's not only the person who runs the machine. This is something like a decentralized politics or maybe decentralized directors, when exist some people who can make the decisions by the decentralized governance process. So some people create proposals, community vote on these proposals, and the validators became something like people who very deep inside of the network. And some delegators, they tell, okay, I don't understand the topic so deep, so I delegate you tokens, decide for me. And if you are a validator, you need to start to protect the interests of your delegators. And sometimes these interests can be in some conflict, or maybe not in the conflict, but different visions. So some people tell, okay, our network will be better if we will increase like inflation. And other people tell, no, it will be more terrible. Let's decrease the inflation. No, increase, no, decrease. And in the same moment, all the sides want to do something better for the network. But they have different opinions. How we can find the consensus? How we can, how the decentralized community of the people that's distributed all over the world can govern some digital decentralized identity and reach the goals together. This is, I think, the most interesting in the validation and in being the validator, because you start to become deeper and deeper in the working with community. It's not only run the machine, it's not only technical side, but technical side is very important, the security and so on. But another part of this, like contributing for the development of the network, contributing for the development of the community, building new tools, this is brilliant in the validation. And the most terrible, it's also the same. Because if before all you need is to run the machine, your machine is work, your uptime is great, and that's all, now you need to be not only technical guy, now you need to have so different skills like working with community, creating content. Yes, it's working with social networks. And this is also what, or you need to be something like a person who can do everything, that it's very rare, or you need to collect the big collective. Some people work with the tech side, some people work with community, so on. So this is and good and bad of the validation.
Thank you. That was great. I wanted to piggyback on one thing that you said, but I'll answer the question first. So basically restating the question, so you guys remember, as a non-validator, what is really tough, what is really awesome, and what it takes to get started. So what's really tough is that running at small scale is typically, it's hard to break into. You can't just take 32 ETH, run a validator, and think that it's going to pay itself off. It's in a lot of cases, the amount of funds you need to lock up at a small scale are not worth the return that you would get. So it takes a lot of industry knowledge to kind of break the glass ceiling of it first at scale. What's really awesome about being a validator is that once you kind of unlock that and you kind of understand the skullduggery of the game, I guess maybe get lucky and meet a VC that gives you a bunch of money, you can run a bunch of economies of scale, and you can very directly pick the protocols and projects that you want to partner with, though that doesn't always happen to be the case. What it takes to get started is basic Linux skills. They have a website called linuxjourney.com. Yeah. Don't go to college and learn computer science anymore. It's stupid. I'll be the first person to tell you this, guys. ChatGPT exists. these are all self-taught skills. What else does it take to get started? An obsession with reading white papers and discerning a good product from a bad one. But to piggyback on what you were saying is, maybe this is going back to the first part of the question, is what's really awesome about it is the incentive alignment, and there's a bit of meta governance. Posthuman is one of the top 3 validators in the Cosmos ecosystem, and this is like a fun little technical fact that a lot of you guys may not realize, is that they have this auth modules within Cosmos, and how voting works is your validator votes on your behalf. If you are a user, it'll say, I delegate to Posthuman, and a vote comes up. I think, like he thinks that the vote should be yes for whatever. He votes yes. All of my delegated stake to him votes yes implicitly, unless I say otherwise. So very concretely, validators within the Cosmos ecosystem, you are shepherding the vote of the people that delegate to you in a way that isn't necessarily done the same way on Ethereum, which that's what I think is really cool. It's a different sort of thing to grok, but that's a small little thing. So, kick it back to you guys. David, you'll be next. How do you choose a good validator, and what is a good validator? This is a pretty fundamental question when you get like your shitcoin of choice and you want to delegate it. You see an endless list of all of these validators. How do we find a good validator? How do you know a good validator, David?
Yeah, so that's something, a question. Actually, I think it's more oriented to the end user, right? Taking a step to delegate to someone. Me as a tech guy, I would probably recommend everyone to take a look at the validator profile of whoever is delegating the tokens. And as such, if there has been some slashing events, whatever is more or less uptime in terms of number of delegators, the community also matters here, and the outreach and the records in terms of validating if the customers have been happy and so on. For me, that would be one of the things that it would matter for me in order to choose between a validator. Yeah, so basically that would be it. Like in terms of from the inside, like I'm sure like everyone kind of depends, right, on the things, how people or how business they wanna do things in validator, right? There's as you might know, there's solo validators and there's professional validators. There's a wide range of validators everyone can choose. But I'm sure like everyone is pushing forward to be always on the forefront of new networks coming in. But yeah, that also comes back to another important topic, which is it kind of also depends on the network, right? Every network is different. We cannot just say one thing that works for all. And it's at the end of the day, it's gonna research that everyone has to do, like do your own research.
So I'm pretty sure that a good validator, it's a validator who contribute for the development of the network and the community. Because if every validator who do something for the network is usually have the link on the web page and the list of the contribution. Some validators build the block explorer, some of them build wallets, some of them create the content, some of them help to the community, some of them creating guides. And if validators spend their time to develop the network and the community somehow, it's a good validator. Because when you delegate some tokens, some coins to this validator. This validator not just get the reward and after sell this reward to pay for the infrastructure, but they return back some part of this income and invest back into the network, into community, and that's why the price of our tokens goes up. So if you delegate to the good validator who contribute into the network, it's a kind of investment in my investitions. So I have my tokens, and I not only interested in that in the getting percent for the reward. I also interested that the price of the token goes up. Why they will goes up? Because some developers develop the code, because the community have the tools, because more people come. And why they will come, how they will know? Because some of the validators create the content and tell, look at this network. So in the some delegated proof of stake networks, the validators became the main developers and the main marketing. So instead of have SMO or like STO, you have a lot of validators, each of do something. So and exist, and what is the bad validator? Bad validator is validator who don't really care about the network, don't make any contributions, just get in rewards and sell the tokens. If you will delegate to such validator will get income, will not return back nothing. So will not do nothing that price of your tokens goes up, but will sell part of these tokens to pay for the infrastructure or to get income, and price of your tokens will goes down. As usually such validators, it's a centralized exchanges like the Coinbase or Kraken, and you can even check their participation rate. It means how often validator vote on the proposals. So exist, for example, proposal, let's update our network from version 14 to version 15. And some validators vote yes, as usually it's like that. It needs to be very strange that you tell, no, we don't want new updates. Yes, so this is very important proposals that will bring more functionality to our networks, will rise up the price of our tokens because more people will use it and so on. And some validators even don't vote. So these validators who even don't vote, we can classify them. I really don't care what happens in your network. We are just here to make money on you. So undelegate from such validators with low participation rate and delegate to those who have high participation rate, because it's one of the markers, like if validator vote and participate, validator care about networks. And interest of the network, it's the interest of the validator. And if validator tell, no, my own interest is much more near for me than interest of the network, it means that this validator is a threat for the network, because network interested in the more in validators who are interested in the network. So always check what validator do, because if validator do something, provide any technical or humanitarian contributions, they will have the list of these contributions. You can see, oh, this validator built the wallet. I use this wallet, so I will delegate. Oh, this validator, I don't know how to use this tool, but I come to the Telegram Discord chat, and this validator give me an answer how to do it. Nice, I will delegate. So distribute your stake among the some small or big number of the validators who is doing something. Because as for me, for validator, I don't need to tell, delegate to me. Because for me, it's not important. If you will delegate to me, I will get more coins. But if you will delegate to the another validator who contributing, my price of my coins will grow up. So for me, it's very easy to tell, delegate to all other good validators, because in this case, even if I will not get more coins, I will get the rising of the price of my coins that I already have. And this is important.
Thank you. So the question was, how do you choose a good validator? He brought a very good point, is participation. It's something, if you're like coming from Bitcoin or Ethereum, that's not very clear that governance exists and that people need to participate in it, and why, which we'll get in with the next question. My answer to what is a good validator and how you would pick it. So David's answer was do your own research, basically. How you do that, On Cosmos, they have a website. It's called MinScan. And you can look at the statistics and see every way they voted. You know, you could follow the drama of the voting. You can see how much they participate, how much they don't participate. You'd be surprised for the amount of money that people are delegated, how little they care. And that does have a concrete impact on the network. So like he was saying, Vlad was saying, is validators that when you go to their website, you look at the services that they provide and if they've done any partnerships or grants on the networks that they're validating. So sometimes, typically when a network starts up, they need a block explorer or an RPC or whatever, or maybe building a front end. Typically, companies like Posthuman, I know, is one of them. Polkachu is another. QuickNode is another great one. They offer these free services to people, and they do it just to help the network out, not because it makes them money. You don't see those with the centralized exchanges. I wonder why. So I have an extremely hard question, David. I hope you can handle this one. Should you stake with a centralized exchange? Yes or no? Why or why not?
In my opinion, like we should focus on what matters on decentralization. What is at the end of the day, like we have to stake and at the higher number of validators as possible. Like if I want to stake 10 ETH, then we can just split it, right? That would benefit decentralization, right? What for me, going back to your question, like a centralization exchange is one that if it doesn't, but it almost has a supermajority of voting power sometimes, because as you know, like the greater number of delegation it gets more voting power. So in governance, network grades, proposals, it has more voting power. So it can push forward or to its own interest a certain proposal. So that's something we don't want to get at, I think. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's like splitting delegations.
And the commission's high.
Exactly, yeah. Commissions matter as well.
So mostly when the centralized exchanges join the network as the validators, they even don't use a lot of tokens that are their own, because some people want to trade, for example, some Atom, they send it to some Coinbase, when you trade some Atom on the Coinbase, it's not a transactions in the blockchain, because it's just something like Excel, like it's very fast, very centralized, and the Coinbase look at their address and tell, oh my God, like people deposit 10 million atoms, and they trade in Excel, and we have 10 million atoms on address. Okay, some arbitrage, they withdraw 1 million, they deposit 1 million back per day, but just 8 million, just never something happens. Let's run the validator. We will use the tokens of the people who trade on our centralized exchange to run the validator and to get the rewards. And the people with the costumes, with the good marketing, sit and tell, okay, we run the validator, we have the rewards for income. Or what we will do? We will sell them. Yes, we will, and they get ability to pump and dump price on their exchanges, and a lot of examples like this. And of course, they not really interested in the technical side. Because of this, they are centralized exchanges. Because of this, they are exchanges. So if people interested in the technical side, they will not create exchange. And if people interested in economical side, they will create exchange. So people who are interested mostly in economical questions will think like by the economical way. And as usually they think in the short term, not in the long term. They think, oh, okay, we can do it right now in the 1 month or something like this. They don't see the development in 3 or 5 years. So that's why better not to delegate to centralized exchanges, because they will not return back these funds into the development, and they will not do nothing to increase, they will not work in your economical interests, because they have their own economical interests. That means better to delegate to validators who are interested in the network. So it means interested also in your stake, because every validator is also staker. Is just difference between the delegator and validator, that validator is little bit more responsible delegator that tell, I will not only delegate tokens, I also get ready to take responsibility for maintaining the node. And this is, to be honest, the difference between validator and delegator.
Thank you. That was great. So basically, in summation, the big reason why people end up staking with all of these exchanges is because it's easy. Like, you get used to the Coinbase UI, you get used to Kraken, and it's the click of a button. But as Vlad pointed out, the fact of the matter is that a majority of the tokens staked, when you see a centralized exchange staking them, they are tokens that they're just holding on their balance sheet. But at the end of the day, their name of the game is value extraction and market making, which is kind of roughly trading against the people that are trying to trade the cryptocurrencies. I mean, this isn't really news, but this is why a majority of exchanges, centralized exchanges, profits do come from trading altcoins and not like major cryptos. They're very, at times, illiquid, and with that, you have very specific market making opportunities. But meanwhile, all of these tokens are still concretely staked and just getting dumped, pretty much. And now you have to start thinking in terms of, okay, well, these exchanges own collectively 45% of this blockchain. What's stopping the SEC from knocking down their door and saying, you need to do this or that? It's not necessarily really a matter of if, but kind of a more of when. And so you can change that concretely yourself by voting to delegate to whatever professional validator or cause that you want. Just don't do a centralized exchange. Okay, now here's the fun answer too. You don't want to delegate to a centralized exchange because you don't get airdrops. Airdrops, you guys haven't heard of them. You can make a lot of money with them. You don't get those. Most airdrops specifically say no if you're delegating to a centralized exchange. Because why would they airdrop tokens to a centralized exchange? Because they're just going to dump them. Exactly. So that's another benefit. I don't know about you guys. I've made a lot of money on airdrops this year, more than my salary. So look into it. Let's see. I won't debase this into an airdrops thing, but if you want to get into airdrops, look at airdrops.io. That's my recommendation. How much time do we have, Adrian? Oh, we got 15 minutes. Excellent. Okay, we can move on to the next one. Let's talk about decentralized validators, but in the case of governments. Does decentralized governance bring decentralized politics? This is kind of like a half pivot off that last question.
Yeah, I'll bridge this to Vlad.
So this is very interesting, because when you make decisions not by yourself and not by the small groups, and when the result depends of many different people who are distributed all over the world, you start to understand, okay, if I will just create the proposal, let's do and this and that, it will not really affect some people. Some validators can just ignore, don't see this proposal, or they can tell, okay, I don't understand what is it. I will not support this proposal because I don't understand what's there. So there's this process of the creating proposals and making discussions before the proposals became something like a not ritual, but what happens in our government when they want to get new laws. So, for example, I don't know it very well. Now every network have the forum. You need to create kind of draft proposal, make a discussion with others, look at the pluses and minuses. And after you need to go into this to speak with some other validators and make some marketing for the governance. Yes, because if you don't tell to other people that you want to up the proposal and why it's good, it's very small chances that other people will vote yes. So, and if you want that other people vote yes, you start to spread this information about proposal. And after you understand, okay, most of the delegators, they use validators as the directors of politics. They delegate and tell, vote for me. I don't have a time to really be deep why we need to update Gaia version 14 to Gaia version 15. Like, you are a validator, you know why it need to be, vote for me. You take the commission from me, it's your work. So these validators, and you understand, okay, that to have the good result after the voting on proposal, I don't need to speak with 100,000 people. I just need to speak with 100 validators who will vote. So, and this is bring us kind of decentralized politics. At first, when you have your proposal, you start to write to the private messages to your friends validators, hey, support me, vote yes on my proposal. And if you are a good person and have a good friendship, you can get the result by the speaking with other your friends. And in the same time, just imagine situation, one validator vote no on your proposal, and you think, why you don't support my brilliant idea? I create so nice proposal and you don't support it. And next time another validator create the proposal, and I will tell, I will vote no on you, not because your proposal is bad. Just last time you didn't support me, this time I will not support you. So this, even if the blockchain is about the technologies and connection between computers, it's also about the humans and connections between humans. So it means we already find the consensus between machines, and it's so very nice because computers don't have conflict, they have program consensus, everything that can be written in the code need to be written in the code, but some things we can't write in the code. So some things it's about humans, about how we are looking for the consensus. Like a very interesting example of such proposal, it's about, it was an earthquake in the Turkey. And we have some Cosmos community in the Turkey, pretty big. And it was the proposal, let's help from the community pool of Cosmos Hub to the people who are harmed by earthquake. So, and some people vote yes, some people vote no, some validators even don't vote. They don't care what happens totally. So, and this is the big discussion. From one side, validators who vote yes, they are like good people, we want to help to the other people, but they don't really care about our community pool. And other people, they tell, no, let's keep the community pool. So from one side, it's very bad. It's not good to don't help others. But from other side, they are thinking about our community pool. So, and what is your decision? What you will support? This decision or another decision? Yeah, we can't write it in the code. So, and this has became the decentralized politics. So it means some delegators tell, oh, okay, I'm from Turkey. I delegate to this validator, and this validator vote no to support Turkey after earthquake. I will redelegate from you. Yes, and this is how this decentralized politics starts, and we are going from this centralized politics when only a small group of the people can make a decision to this new decentralized kind of the politics, where even if you not a delegator, even if you are not have any power, but you can write a cool article that will affect people, and people will vote like you write because you have brilliant arguments.
Do you have anything on that? No. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So in Ethereum, indeed, we have like decoupling between governance and staking, but there is a very kind of advanced way to avoid centralization of power with Gitcoin grants. I assume you're aware of that. So I was just wondering if in other networks you have similar solutions like quadratic funding, or is it still one token, one vote? Just curious.
Thank you. I'm going to sit down real quick. So I don't know about on Cosmos. Do they have any quadratic funding networks?
So the main difference between the Ethereum and the Cosmos that Ethereum it's a pure proof of stake. When you are delegator and when you are staker in Ethereum, you are not really staker. You are just collect Ethereum with smart contracts to run the validator. Yes, and exists some providers of this liquid staking. And in Ethereum, they don't have this. I saw here is was person in Aragon. So in Ethereum, we don't have implemented governance inside of the network. So Ethereum, it's a security token that provide the security for Ethereum and economical token. You pay the fees with Ethereum and participate in DeFi. But no governance. Governance is implemented in Ethereum with the DAOs, with the some smart contracts where I have inner governance token for the DAO, but for the security and for economics is answered in Ethereum. And in Cosmos, the one token it's and security and the governance and the economical token in the same time. And I don't really think that it's good, but it's how it is for now. So and if you stake your tokens, you can participate, you get voting power. And you are not only get the reward, you not only get the economical power to participate in the DeFi or something like this, but you also get the voting power to vote. Just imagine the country, and in this country, not one person, one vote, but more you have tokens, more bigger your voice. But why it happens? Because you risk with more. If you stake for 100,000, you any decisions that will be made will affect you $100,000. And if you just stake for $10, okay, the wrong decision will affect your $10, but you lose $10. So it means if I risk with more amount, big amount, my voice is bigger. It means I was thinking before 100 times to make a decision. And if I just risk with $10, I can do pretty everything. If I will lose it, like how? That's why. We have not this, this is the proportional. More you stake, more you risk, bigger your voting power. It brings some problems, but it solves some solutions. I can't tell that it's a perfect electronic democratical system, but it's much more better than I ever see in ever other centralized governance. It's much more effective than even Switzerland or Finland model.
Thank you. So to put labels on them that may make sense in a non-crypto context is Ethereum right now is a technocracy. Technocracy. It's ruled by technocrats. Basically a bunch of Ethereum Foundation and open source developers kind of get in a room and have a nerd fight about what is best for the protocol. That is roughly kind of how it works. On Cosmos, it is functionally different. It's a different protocol. The governance is built into the protocol using Tendermint and Cosmos SDK, and it's modular. And of course, every Cosmos chain can extend this capability, but the actual label of it would be a delegated democracy. So otherwise, the opposition would be just like direct democracy where everyone votes. But of course, the problem with that is that people stop caring. Like you said, like, why would I even? I mean, I have a decent amount of tokens in Osmo, for instance. I still don't participate in governance because that's boring. I'm not going to read all that. And so I delegate it to someone, and they have a nerd on call who, whenever a new governance thing comes out, he reads it and he votes, and they vote on my behalf. Unless I have some sort of strong opinion and I want to vote against it. Is it better? Like you saw, like with, he brought up a really great example, which was with Turkey. The issue was that people wanted to take from the pool of funding for the Cosmos ecosystem, so the Atom token, and put that towards people who were distressed in Turkey. A lot of people voted yes because they're like, yay, money, save people. And a lot of people voted no because they said, well, that's not what that money is for. Which one is right? See, what ends up happening is that people believe one thing or another very strongly, and they vote with their feet and they change validators. That's the good and bad of Cosmos. Is sometimes you can also make the mistake of voting too quickly before all the information has come out. This is another parameter that a lot of people don't think about, is that when you have governance on chain, you only have so long to vote. I think it's like a week or two. And then during that time, sometimes breadcrumbs of different information will come out. A really good example of this was in Juno. It was a network that was kind of purported to be, it's CosmWasm on chain, but the dev community felt a lot like early Ethereum. And so it had a lot of momentum. The token went from like nothing. They had one of the allegedly fairest distributions. Token went from 0 cents to $45. And then they had what was called, you probably remember this with much pain, Proposition 16. And it was an extremely divisive on-chain thing where basically they kind of messed up the airdrop. And a lot of people voted one way, a lot of people voted the other. And it went the way of Ethereum Classic. Gotcha. And it had massive implications on the chain. Like the token now, you can look it up. It went from $45, it's now to like 20 cents or something. It's basically a meme token. In fact, it's literally battling a meme token against itself, which is pretty funny. And I think did the meme token win?
So, as my opinion, it's this battle is still not finished, and yes, because the Juno, it's a very interesting example how the interest of economics meets with interest of the technical side of the network. Yeah, and it's also the good example that shows to us that very often the price of the token is big because of some good economical vision, but not really depends on the technical side. So if you want to predict the price of the network based on the tech side, it's the wrong way. Because cool networks with the strong tech side can have very small price, and networks that don't have any technical functionality can have a big price. And because economic, it's irrational.
Yeah, awesome. Do you have anything on that?
Yeah, sure. So just some words on it. I think like governance, obviously, like they said, it's different mechanisms on Cosmos and Ethereum, but always one staker can choose in Ethereum, for instance, one validator, because the validator also has important decisions to take, like what client it runs. For instance, not everyone runs Geth, for instance, and this is good actually, because otherwise we would have a supermajority on the Geth client, and what happens if the Geth has a bug? Then the network is down. And it's important to always choose another validators that they bet for another clients, Teku, or another protocols out there. And by making this, you're having your own decision on governance, actually, I think.
Awesome. So, we'll make this a very simple, short question because we're running out of time, but do you think that there should be governance maximization? Or do you lean more towards the camp of delegated proof of stake or governance minimization?
I think that the trend is like move more and more over proof of stake, and we're seeing this with new protocols coming in. Cosmos is very like it's kind of built in with Tendermint. Their protocols, they can have important parameters on the code, which can help shaping their own protocol in that sense. And I think that grants a lot of granularity over the kind of parameters over for proof of stake systems. And especially in Cosmos, I'm aware that there's new improvements being coming on, especially on the consensus model, like Comet BFT and other forks of Tendermint, which they are over improving the consensus.
So I think that here is two very important moments. One moment, it's all we want to have a right to vote and change something, but from other side, we don't want to be responsible for it. We want that somebody else is responsible. So I want to, it's terrible when I don't have possibility to vote, but if I have possibility to vote and can tell, oh, can you vote for me? It will be much more better. Like ChatGPT, tell me how to vote. Why you was voting wrong? ChatGPT, tell it to me. I'm a good guy. So this is the fault of the ChatGPT, something like this. So we will have governance system, but people will always try to put this responsibility on the somebody. So now it's validators. And of course, if people want to put the responsibility on somebody, somebody will arrive and will take this responsibility. So I think we will move to some new version of the decentralized governance when the validators is more about the security and providing the security uptime and the internet connection, and it will be something like a governance token that's not a security token, but especially for governance, and will some identities they will be as the validator, but I can tell, oh, okay, you understand pretty nice how to make a marketing. Let this person will responsible for marketing decisions about our network. And I delegate my votes to you, but if you do something wrong, I will give it to another person. So it will be something like a market of the decentralized politics. Yes, if now we choose the politics, and this politics, haha, now I have 4 years to make any shitty crap, and they try, and oh, you was telling that you will do everything good. I was lying to you, stupid. And here is, we just don't need to vote, to make the elections, wait, and after wait for the 4 years or even more, while when they create any trash, it will be just like, oh, I delegate to this politics. You do something that I don't like, redelegate to another politics. So it will be more decentralized, more faster, and people who will make a shit will not be able to be at the power.
Thank you, guys.